So people were incarcerated in their home. Now,
make sure I can get myself in. Oh. So you guys can see my feet. Do you ever notice when your camera's crooked and you're going like this? The world has tilted there. Just a slight hair makes a difference. Okay, I won't completely shut this. We need this air. It's quiet in the alleyway right now. For now. Sometimes we have some colorful language, but we can take it because we're chilled out yogis. So you're going to have your seat in your chair and you're going to scoot forward. So you want to scoot your sit bones forward just so that you can help your body to be up nice and tall, depending on even these chairs, which are supposed to be yoga chairs, are still slightly slanted back. And a lot of chairs are like that in the seat, like your car seat. And that does not encourage a nice, happy, supported spine, right? So we scoot forward in the seat and you kind of mark up your squish up, squinch up. There's all those technical yoga words. We're gonna slide our feet up just enough so that the ankles are underneath your knees, like a table leg. Okay, and your feet and your knees are in line with each other and they are about hip distance apart. Okay, and you have a lot of room in the hips. They can be wide and they can be a little narrow. You can pick the spot that feels stable to you. So we're rocked forward on those sit bones, those rockers at the base of your pelvic bowl, and you're going to feel your heart lift a little bit, and you're going to roll your shoulders one time up, back, and down to get your elbows to hang underneath your shoulders. So right now we're working on the placement of the head and the neck today throughout our practice. So I'm going to have you raise your gaze just a little bit. It's going to feel your chin lift a little bit, like you're looking out far over a horizon. And then you're going to take your index finger and place it on your chin right in front. And you're going to just gently move your head slightly back. I'm exaggerating so you can see. You're going to move your head slightly back. Don't overdo, make sure this feels okay. And then you're just gonna let your arms hang back down, let those elbows hang below your shoulders. And then you're gonna sense the back of your head, excuse me, the back of your head. We want the back of our head to move gently towards being in line with the back of the spine, which means the space between your shoulder blades. Because usually, our head is forward, right? And when your head is forward, off of this plumb line, off of this midline of your body, the more strain gravity has on your neck. Because it's like when you balance a pencil, right? If you move forward, it comes forward because the force of gravity is greater and when you're further forward off of your plumb line. So this is why your necks get very strained while the top of the shoulders do a lot of extra work. So we practice lifting the gaze, drawing the chin slightly back, and sensing the back of the head being in line with the space between the shoulder blades. So from here, find a soft breath. So your posture might not feel very natural right now. And if anything I've told you to do is feeling like a stress in the body, adjust yourself. The only reason we do this is to have a sense of openness in the front of the body and feeling the back of the body be strong, to hold up the spine, to hold up the head. Because from this space, we want to welcome our breath. We don't have to take deep breaths. We don't have to rush the breath in. We're just noticing the breath that is here and inviting it to just be slightly more spacious. So we can notice when we might feel the breath in the solar plexus or a little lower in the abdomen. Or maybe we feel the breath more in the rib cage or the upper chest near your collarbones. Does your neck or your shoulder feel any strain while you're breathing? Just invite some softness in. Letting go of a rigidly held body. Soften as much as you can without collapsing. We'll check with the inner environment. We'll check in with the thoughts and the emotions that are here right now. This is the RAIN practice, RAIN. So R is recognize. Excuse me. Recognize thoughts and emotions, that underlying energy that is here with the emotion or the underlying dialogue that's always running. You can recognize a busy mind, a distracted mind, or a calm mind. Recognize emotions like being excited or anxious or feeling tired or heavy, hot. We recognize what's here, how we're going to begin our practice this afternoon. And the A in RAIN is allow. We allow these things to be here. This is part of your experience. This is part of who you are in this moment. And sometimes when we just gently name thoughts and emotions, they can be lifted out of our limbic system in the brain. And we don't have that fight, flight, or freeze response so much. Just bringing it up to the more rational part of the brain. And then I is investigate. Investigate the body. We've already set up the spine, noticing how we're holding our head and our shoulders. Notice how thoughts and emotions come into your body. You might feel tension in the brow, the eyes, and the shoulders, the low back, bracing in the abdomen. Just notice that. And all these things that are here in the mind and in the heart and in the body, we continue to nourish with the breath. So N is nurture. So as we breathe softly and we bring a sense of caring and loving kindness to this precious body, heart, and mind, knowing that we can always do the deeper practice of not doing something that isn't wise for your system and staying with the breath, because the breath is the practice. So you can open your eyes if they've been closed for a moment. We're going to do yogi bobblehead. So now we'll start to move the head a little bit. You're going to trace a circle in front of your face with the tip of your nose. Just a small circle in one direction, whatever direction you want to start in. And then slowly spiral the circle outward. Just getting a little bigger Keep breathing, that soft breath you've noticed. Keep inviting that breath to flow. And you let these circles get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, not to create more strain, not to find extra mobility here, but to see what's here. So the minute you feel tension creeping into the jaw, the neck, or the shoulders, dial it back a little bit. And let this be a gliding, smooth sensation while you're breathing. I don't know about you, but I always have to close my eyes because it gets a little dizzy. You can notice all those sounds happening maybe in your neck. It's okay. Yeah, yeah, little Rice Krispie treats in there. Good. So the next time the nose gets up to the 12 o'clock, you're going to gently go in the opposite direction with these bigger circles that you've made. And we always have to remind ourselves to soften jaw, face, eyes, shoulders. And slowly start to spiral inward with your circles, making them a little smaller. Keep breathing. And eventually your head finds stillness, ears over the shoulder, that head slightly drawn back, the gaze slightly lifted once again, and the head floating on top of the spine. Feel your breath. So we're going to move our shoulders without moving our spine and not a lot of the rib cage. Okay, we're going to try. So we're going to do tiny little shoulder circles. So you're going to inhale the shoulders a little bit forward and up, and then exhale back and down. Forward and up on the inhale, exhale back and down. So moving with your breath. Again, not your biggest circles right away. So we gradually move into a bigger sensation, a bigger range of motion. But if we do it slowly, there might be more range of motion if we're really bringing the breath into the movement. And it's not about how big you're making the circles. It's about finding some smoothness in the shoulders. And we're trying not to move the spine too much. We're trying not to move your rib cage so that the work is being done just in the arms. Let's go in the opposite direction. Inhaling back and up, exhaling forward and down. Breath, nice and smooth, breath directing your movement. You might feel an invitation to get bigger with your movements, or you might feel an invitation to dial it back a little bit. Trying to keep the spine and the rib cage quiet. Good. Now let that go. Let the shoulders melt down away from your ears and shake out your hands a little bit. Good. So now we're going to take the fingertips and place them on top of your shoulders, and you're going to raise your elbows out to the side. Now they're going to start to move to shoulder height. You don't have to raise them all the way up. Again, notice how your spine is feeling. Notice where your head moved. If the head started moving forward, lift your gaze, draw your head slightly back, and tiny little circles backwards with your elbows. Trying not to move the spine and the rib cage too much. Feel your feet, feel your seat, breath is flowing, little tiny circles. And then if you want, there's an invitation, you can get a little bigger. Take a few breaths here. Notice if your shoulders start taking your rib cage or your spine with them. And that's when you know you need to dial it back a little bit. So you can go a little bigger if that's reasonable, or keep it small, or let it go. Loosen your jaw, soften your eyes. Let's go in the opposite direction. with the bigger circles you've created. Elbows moving forward and down and back and up, and you're breathing. You're breathing in a comfortable way. So your core is engaged here because you're trying not to move your spine and your rib cage, just your shoulders. Your shoulders, I bet you feel now. You have shoulders. You are aware of them. Okay. And your core is trying to keep your spine tall. Good. Let that go. Shake your hands out. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let out a nice sigh. Letting go of tension. All right. So bring the hands together and bring your thumbs to your heart. And feel your feet solid on the ground. You're going to inhale your arms down, out, and up, kind of rotating those palms to the sky. Lift your gaze if that's okay for the neck. Exhale, hands come together and hands float down that center line of your body. And maybe the head moves down. Inhale the arms out and up, raising the gaze. Exhale, moving the gaze down with your hands without slouching in the spine. Just the head moves in this up and down movement while you're moving your arms. Or if your arms are done, just move your head up and down with your breath. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, slowly looking down, feeling a gentle stretch in the back of the neck. The breath is the most important thing here. Good. Next time you bring your hands to your heart and your gaze is level, pause here and breathe. We'll all meet here. And we'll start adding a forward fold. So I'm going to turn to the side here. So we're going to add a forward fold. So when you come into that forward fold seated, we're going to try to keep the spine nice and long as we can. And then you're going to find that space where you're going to feel comfortable to start rounding. But we want to use and engage the core as much as we can to keep the spine long. And then when you feel that invitation, this will always be on an exhale, the core moves into the body, the chin moves into the collarbones, and you round your spine. If this is okay for you to do rounding your spine in an active way. Okay, so let's try that. Let's bring your hands to your heart. You're going to inhale your arms out and up. You can raise the gaze if that's okay for the neck. Exhale, the hands come out to the side. You're leading with your heart towards about halfway down. Then you're going to round your body and bring your chin into your collarbones. It doesn't have to be deep. Pause here and breathe. So don't go too deep right away into that forward fold. When you are ready, as you inhale, you're going to root into the feet. The arms are going to come out and you're straightening the spine halfway up. And then you lift your gaze, lift your hands, and exhale the hands to the heart. And we pause and breathe, taking a little break in the breath. And then when you're ready, we'll do it again. Inhale the arms down, out, and up. Exhale, lead with your heart. Have this nice straight spine. And then when almost halfway, you begin to round. This is active. Chin to the collarbones. Take a breath here. Or 2 or 3, whatever feels good. Inhale, root into the feet, straighten the spine as the arms come out and up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Gaze is level, and you pause and breathe right here. Now remember, you can take as many breaths as you want, more so than what I'm saying to do. There's no such thing as cheating in breathing. So inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, flow forward. Try to keep that nice long spine and then actively round. You feel that core move into the front of the body, chin to the collarbones. Take a breath or 2 here, breathing into the back body. Then inhale, root into the feet, straighten the spine as the arms come out and up. And exhale the hands to the heart and pause right here. And just notice how all of this movement so far has landed in the body. So this is where we do the pause, the breathe, and the notice. This is the mindfulness practice. Noticing the effects of our efforts. Softening if you feel tension. Softening the mind if you feel tension in the mind. not ignoring what's actually here, what needs your caring presence. Good. So we're going to do a little opposite movement with your arms and moving with your head. So you're going to let your fingertips kind of let your arms straighten and your fingertips point to the floor. So your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Place your head again. So you're going to lift your chin and draw your chin slightly back and feel the back of the head in line with that spine between your shoulder blades. Make sure you can breathe here. So we're going to move our head in the opposite direction of the arm. So you're going to inhale the left arm forward and up. It doesn't matter how high you lift it, and you're going to rotate your head to the right. I'm going to be your mirror here. And then exhale, rotate the head to center and let your left arm come forward and down. And then let's mirror the other side. You're going to inhale the right arm forward and up. Doesn't matter how high, rotate your head gently to the left. Exhale, forward and down. So you keep moving with your breath. It's not wrenching your head. It's not about finding your limit of your rotation, okay? So don't even go near your edge of your rotation. You're gliding your head as you're lifting your arm and gliding your head as you're lowering your arm. So keep that breath smooth so that the movements stay nice and smooth. And as long as you're paying attention to your body, you're not doing it wrong. Trying to keep that spine nice and tall. The only part of the spine that is moving is your neck in a nice, gentle rotation. This is going to tell you a lot about what's going on in your neck and your shoulders right now. So we want to be kind. So you're going to do one more time looking right and one more time looking left. And then the arms are going to come back down. We'll all rest. Once we meet there, take your time and breathe. Maybe shake out the hands a little bit. All right, we're going to come to standing. So bring your ankles just slightly underneath the thighs a little closer to your chair so you can help yourself spring up. So remember when we did our forward fold and we kept our spine nice and long? This is the kind of action we want to use to rise out of our chair because it helps us engage our core and it helps us engage our legs. So when we're going to come to standing, we want to come to almost like that half forward fold a little bit and then rise up. Just having the spine tall instead of rounding. So take a nice inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, push into the feet, push into the hands. So we do this on an exhale because your exhale engages your core more and your core supports your spine more. All right, so you guys keep your chair right where it is. You're going to come and stand around the back side of your chair. So you're facing the back. It's very comfortable chair backs. These are yoga chairs. You're not allowed to slouch. So, okay. So let's do. I know what we'll do. So we're going to have our legs coming out in a wide-legged stance. It doesn't have to be very wide. What feels reasonable in your body? Okay. And you have the chair to hold on to the whole time. So let's start with the left leg. You're going to rotate the left leg out. So I kind of spin on my heel so that my toes, my thigh, my knee all rotated out to face the left part of my body, outside of the left part of my body. I'm going to do the opposite thing to the other leg. So I'm going to pick up that right leg and I'm going to rotate that thigh inward. So my heel kind of swings out a little bit. Doesn't have to be dramatic. But you're going to feel your hips shift just a little bit to the left, almost at a diagonal, okay? All right, so let's take our rib cage. Everybody hold on to your rib cage for a moment. You're going to rotate your heart to face your chair. So a little bit of a twist here. Don't overdo. Bend this left knee, but don't let it shoot past your ankle, just to keep the knee happy. And if you feel like it wants to move past your ankle, scooch the toes forward a little bit. and then give yourself a little more room. So your heart's facing your chair. Your shoulders are right above your hips, and you're gonna raise your left arm up, and you're gonna turn your head, not your heart, you're gonna turn your head to the left. Go ahead and take this left arm and flip it over so that the palm of the hand is facing the sky. Now, if you feel stable here with your feet in this position, and you can take that right hand off of your chair and bring that arm back behind you about shoulder height. So what you're gonna do is rotate your head and find that back arm. So rotate your head to look at that back right hand and flip that over so that the palm of the hand is facing the sky. And then rotate your head again to look over the left side. Give yourself a break at any time. You should be breathing right now. Okay, so this is warrior two pose. We're gonna make it dynamic. We're gonna move it. So on the inhale, you begin straightening your knee and bringing the arms towards your head and rotate your head to look towards your chair. And then exhale, draw the arms down, bend the knee, and rotate the head to the left again. And then inhale, lift the arms, doesn't matter how high, and exhale, come back down. So what we're gonna pretend to do here is like we're holding a giant beach ball and we're squishing it in, and then we're gently letting it out. So we're kind of moving with some resistance here in your arms, rather than the arms just flopping. You could fly away if you want, but we want to feel that resistance as you straighten the knee, rotate the head, and then come back down. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Float back down into the warrior two pose with the arms out from the shoulder, your head turned to the left, and pause and breathe. Root into your feet. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. So if this form is causing you not to breathe, your breath needs to become the primary thing before your form. Good. Nice. So go ahead and bring your hands to your chair and turn your head forward, straighten that knee, and we're going to do the opposite side. So first the toes sweep forward, and then the right leg on your heel rotates outward. So the knee and the toes face the right. And then you pick up this back left heel so you can rotate this thigh inward just a little bit. It moves your pelvis a little bit, okay? When you have your thighs rotated, it needs to take your pelvis with you. Find your rib cage, because you're probably not facing your chair directly, and rotate your rib cage, a little twist here, so that your heart's facing the back of your chair. Bend that front knee, moving towards the line above your ankle. Okay, so not past the ankle. You can always scooch those toes forward a little bit if you feel like you just want to go deeper. Okay, and then you're going to raise the left. This is your right arm, my pretend right. Raise your right arm and rotate your head to the right. Keep your heart facing your chair. And then turn that arm over. Have the palm face the sky. If you are feeling solid in your foundation, your stance here, you can raise that left arm behind you to shoulder height. Rotate your head to look to the left, and then rotate your arm so the palm of the hand faces the sky. And then you can rotate your head back to the right. Find your breath here. And then we're going to move with the breath. So you're going to inhale, straighten the knee, kind of squishing the giant beach ball over your head. And then exhale, slowly letting the knee bend and rotating your head. Doesn't matter how deeply you bend the knee. Doesn't matter how high your arms are raised. You're moving through this resistance, this thick atmosphere, and your neck is involved, right? The rest of your spine is not moving. You're just rotating your head. Okay, good. Just lifting those arms up and down. Our arms are plenty heavy to do their own weightlifting. Right. The next time you come into the warrior two pose with the arms out from the shoulders, you're going to pause and breathe. Now we really notice the weight of our arms. Good. Nice. Go ahead and rotate your head to face your chair. Bring your hands to your chair and straighten that knee. And you're just gonna walk your feet back towards each other. So your thighs are happy to come back in. You're gonna pause in your mountain pose. So your feet are hip distance apart. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Rotate your palms so they face forward, shining just like your heart. Lift the head, draw the chin slightly back, and feel the placement of the back of the head. So it might not feel natural, but we're moving more towards neutral for your spine, where all the muscles are playing that nice, delicate balance in an even way. Nothing's being strained, although it might feel a little interesting. Good. So I'm going to move my chair. You stay right where you are. I'm just going to move my chair, and you're going to place your fingertips on the chair. This is opposite arm, opposite leg. We've done this before. It's standing version of cobra pose. So your fingertips are on your chair. Your feet are hip distance apart. And as you inhale, we're going to do this in gradations, I've decided. So what we're going to do is just slightly move your left arm, not quite halfway up, and slide the right toes back. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly put that foot back down, bring the arm down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, right arm, not quite up to halfway, sliding the left toes back. And then exhale, coming back. Now we'll raise the arms to halfway. So we're going to do this in gradations. Inhale, opposite arm, opposite leg. Exhale, coming back. Let's do the other side. Opposite arm on the inhale, opposite leg. Exhale, come down. We're trying not to move our spine and our rib cage. So you're going to come up a little higher on this next set of breath and breathing. So see how that feels, because you're going to notice a time when your spine starts to get involved, or your rib cage. We don't want to quite go that far yet. So only lift your arm as high as you can keep that spine from overdoing it and taking the front of your ribs up, okay? So this is why we're going to do it in gradations, right? So just the arms and the legs move, and the spine is a little quiet. So you're going to find that right space for you. Okay, as you breathe, switching sides, opposite arm, opposite leg. Now, if this feels reasonable to you, you can always stay in one position for an extra breath. If that raising of your arm feels reasonable and your spine feels happy, you can keep doing it to this degree. If you want a little deeper back bend, we lift the heart. So the next time you raise an arm up, then you're going to lift your heart and lift your gaze. And then you're going to exhale and come back. But you're not going to overdo it, right? Because you're doing it gradually. That's the little bit of a back bend here. So this could be very slight, a slight lifting of the heart, a slight lifting of the gaze, making sure the neck and the spine, the rest of your spine, especially the low spine here. I don't know about you guys, but can you feel it in your low spine? Yeah. And what we're also working on is our glutes. We're working on the glutes a little bit here. The buttock muscles to help support the low back and the hips. Good. So you're going to do one more time each side. So one more time with the left arm up, and then one more time with the right arm up. And you're going to come back to your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down when you get there. And rotate the palms so the palms are facing forward, shining in the same direction as your heart. Relocate your head again. So lifting the chin, drawing the head slightly back. So when we're in this position here, mountain pose, a yoga pose, right? When we're in this position and we rotate our hands so the palms face forward, we also want to notice that we're rotating our upper arm bones outward. Now, when you do this, when you rotate your upper arm bones outward, it brings your shoulder blades into the back of your body, towards the back of your rib cage. Because all day long, what are we doing? This. right? Because we got stuff in front of us and your shoulder blades move away. Okay, so roll up, back and down, rotate those arms out and place the head. So now you're activating the root of your neck here. I call it the root of your neck. It's the space between your shoulder blades, right? And it's these important muscles that are activated to help keep the head nice and stable, keep your neck stable. But it's hard to do that when your arms are rotated forward and you're slouching, right? So we can activate, giving ourselves a strong back here. Strong back. Right. Have you guys heard of the term strong back, soft front? Have a strong back and soft front because we have an open heart, but we have a strong back. We have boundaries. All right, so let's take our chair. You guys have your chair right in front of you. You're gonna pick it up and you're gonna rotate it so that the seat is facing to the left, and then you're gonna turn and have your left hip on the back of your chair. You want enough room to step behind you, okay? So that back of the chair is near your left hip here, so you can hold on to the chair, feet back into that mountain pose. And you're gonna take your right hand and put it on your right hip. You're gonna step back with your right foot. So you're stepping it straight back. It's not behind the forward foot. You drop your heel down and you bend your front knee a little bit. This is warrior one pose, okay? So warrior one is when the knee starts to bend just a little bit. It can be behind your ankle, but we try not to shove it forward at the ankle too close to the toes, okay? And your feet are wide. They have that hip distance space apart as the foot is drawn back. And if you feel like this balance is uncomfortable, you might have your feet too narrow. So you take that front foot, toe heel it towards the chair one time to widen your base. So your shoulders and your hips are in line and you're facing forward. All right, here we go. So you're gonna bring that right arm out to the side. Now we can pretend we have the beach ball again. So you can hold on to the chair or reach for the chair at any time for balance, or you can bring that arm out. And then often we can do this for balance. Beach ball. So let's bring the arms close together as if you're squishing that beach ball in. Feel that activation. So there's a difference between just raising the arms and then actively doing the resistance of raising your arms. Okay, it doesn't matter how close they are to your head. Find your breath. On an inhale, straighten that front knee and the arms come out to the side. And on the exhale, slowly bend that front knee and squish your beach ball. Okay, and so this is a nice movement with your breath. Working on those arms, making sure the head is not drifting forward of the rest of the spine. And we just move with the breath. Nice dynamic warrior one movement. Good. So we're finding our balance here as well as working on our arms, our head, our neck. Good. So the next time those arms come up, you're gonna pause and breathe. You're gonna root into your feet. You're gonna feel your feet move into the floor and the spine rising out of that pelvic bowl. Good. So bring your hands down. Bring the left hand to your chair, right hand to your hip. And you're gonna push off, step forward, come back to mountain pose, and we'll do our balance on this side. So you're gonna shift all your weight into your left foot. You're gonna bend the right knee. It's not gonna be tree pose, it's Karate Kid pose. Or crane, or a version of crane, something like that. So what you wanna do is you're gonna lift your right thigh up towards the height of your hip, not over your hip, but just towards that height and point your toe. And that way you can tap down at any time to find your balance, okay? Let me turn to the side so you guys can see at home a little bit more, good. And then this is how we're finding our balance here. So lift your heart, lift your gaze, draw your head back, get your shoulders over your hips. And then you're gonna raise that right arm out to the side, just like a crane. Remember Karate Kid? Yeah? But we have the support of the chair here. Because sometimes we'll go further when we're utilizing our support, right? The wobbling and the shaking is what's supposed to happen, okay? We're not going to be completely still. We can't, right? We're in constant negotiation with gravity and the liquid in our body, right? So all kinds of things are happening. Good. Go ahead and come on down. Pause in your mountain pose. Shake out your hands a little bit. In fact, let's do a whole reset. We like that, right? And you have to do horse flips. So those of you at home, I can't hear you, but I'm going to make these guys do it. So shake out your hands, shake out your legs a little bit. It's really nice to release them. If you're like me, I like to grit my teeth when I'm focused. Okay, good. All right, let's do the other side. So you're going to pick up your chair and you're going to rotate it so it faces the opposite direction. And then you're going to turn to face the front again, and the right hip is on the outside. So turn towards me, Jerry. Step behind your chair and turn towards me. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so let's put the left hand on your hip, right hand on your chair. Feet start out hip distance apart. Step the left foot straight back in its own lane. You're going to drop the heel down. It kind of moves towards the midline, just slightly. And you're going to bend that front knee. Okay, you're going to see how this feels in the body. See if this is reasonable. If you need to take that front foot and toe heel it towards the chair to widen your base to feel more stable, you can play with that movement. And the knee can stay behind your ankle, just not pushing it forward towards your toes, okay? So let's bring your left arm out to the side, palm facing up. And you can always add the other arm if that feels reasonable, and your chair is always there for you for balance. Okay, so inhale, straighten the knees and squish that ball. Exhale, come back. So as you're moving back and forth at your own breath pace here, you want to notice where the head is falling with the body. So you want to draw that back of the head back a little bit, maybe raise your gaze a little bit, because when we focus and concentrate, our body will revert to its habitual patterns, right? So we're just being mindful today of how we hold our head and our neck. Good. Finding that resistance. You can always change up the breath too, because I think I did it opposite on the other side, but that's good for your brain too. Just as long as the breath is flowing, so you're not holding the breath and creating tension. So let's come into the knee being bent, and then let's have the arms come overhead and pause right here in your warrior one pose. So feel your feet right now. Feel both feet rooting into the earth. Okay, feeling the spine get nice and tall. Draw your head back. Yes, yes. Lovely. Go ahead and float your arms down. Let your hand come to your chair and straighten that front knee, and then push off and step forward. Coming to that mountain pose. We're going to hold on to the chair with the right hand to start. And you can put your left hand on your hip. You're going to raise your left thigh, because all your weight's going into your right foot, closest to the chair. And then we raise that thigh. So it's not super high. We're not trying to get it high. We're trying to raise it. You're going to point your toes. So we're in that Karate Kid pose. And you can raise that other arm, your left arm out to the side. If you feel like playing with the right arm, you can, but have that chair there for you. And you can always tap those toes down, right? For a little balance, giving yourself permission to do that. Where's your head going? Lift your gaze, draw your head back. And widening the focus a little bit. And feel all that negotiation that your body, your system's doing with gravity. So there's the wobbles, there's the shakes. They're all normal. Okay, take another breath in. I hope you weren't holding your breath. And then go ahead and float down. Coming back to mountain pose. And we're just going to pause here in mountain pose. And this is where we feel We feel the results of our practice. We just bring in a soft breath and a soft awareness, not a harsh, critical, judging mind, but a soft awareness that feels inclusive. It includes what's here rather than pushing away what we think shouldn't be here. So we tune into how the body has accepted the practice so far. This helps us nurture the things that need our attention. You can imagine that breath moving into those spaces to be nurturing. Lovely. Okay, so you're going to pick up your chair and you're going to rotate it back to the beginning. Chair facing forward. And then you're going to come and stand in front of your chair, because we're going to get ready to sit down, but we're going to sit down like yogis doing our half forward fold here. So get your feet hip distance apart and then introduce yourself, right, to the chair on each side. The chair is there. Dr. Seuss yoga. It's very important that the chair is where you left it. Okay, so let's place our hands on our thighs. So we're going to practice that little half forward fold, but your knees need to be soft with it and the spine stay as straight as you can. So you're going to do this on an exhale. You're going to exhale into that half forward fold, softening the knees, and then easing yourself down using whatever you need to feel supported, to come on down, to help with your precious knees. Coming on down. Nice. Very nice. All right, so you're going to start out with your feet. Again, you want your ankles underneath your knees, and then you're going to walk your feet towards each other so that the thighs come towards each other. Okay, so close feet together, as close as it feels comfortable. Okay, and let's place the spine. So roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Lift your gaze, draw your head back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to open the gate. So we're going to take this. This is your left leg. You're going to rotate that left leg out. You're going to feel your pelvis move a little bit. So remember when we did that rotation before, we're going to take our rib cage and rotate it back. So your heart is facing the inside of your thigh. Okay. And you're going to place that left arm, palm facing up near your hip here. And it's going to slide when we move. We're doing a side stretch, but here's the thing I want you to look for. Side stretch feels great. You like it, right? I want to look for what you're doing with your neck and your head in the side stretch. So we want to pay attention to that. So get that head in that placement we've been working on. Let that right arm kind of flow down from your shoulder, kind of wiggle it out a little bit, right? And you're going to inhale that arm forward and up, and then you're going to exhale just a little bit to the side, not far. And then you're going to inhale, come back up. A little core work here. Exhale, move back to the side. Maybe you go deeper. And let's flow with the breath here. So we ease into the side stretch, and we want to keep our head back. So notice if your head starts to float forward of the rest of your spine. Just notice. Okay. So after we've done this a few more times, you're noticing the limit of the side body stretch so that you feel comfortable. And then maybe the next one or two, you're going to hold. So you're going to come over to the side. It might not be your deepest side stretch. Let's place the head. Draw your head slightly back and rotate your head slightly to the right, looking underneath this upper arm. It's just a slight rotation. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be dramatic. If this feels uncomfortable, let it go. Where's your breath here? So bring your breath into the whole right side of your body. So kind of easing into the pose. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be huge. Just breathe. Good. Inhale, that arm comes up. Exhale, float that hand down and pause. Let things settle. And let's close the gate. So bring the feet back together, bring the thighs back together. Take a nice deep breath in and sigh. And then you're going to take the right leg, swing it out. Doesn't have to be really big. This isn't Instagram yoga, right? Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. This is the seated version of side angle pose for yoga, which does just a good a job for what we want to do today. So place that right hand, that right wrist, have you flip it over on your thigh next to your hip. Dangle that left arm out, shrug out the shoulder, lift your gaze, move your head back. Inhale that arm forward and up. Exhale to the side just a little. And then inhale, come back up. And then exhale to the side. Maybe there's room to go deeper. So kind of play with that edge a little bit. You're not going to your limit, okay? Not to your limit. Paying attention to your head. Noticing if it's drifting forward. You're going to feel strain in your jaw and your neck and your shoulders. Plus all the work we've already done, you might already be feeling that. Good. So the next time you move to the side pose, it's not your deepest side pose. It's accessible for the breath. Very important. You can always drop that top arm down at any time. Draw your head back and then slightly rotate your gaze, your head, to look just underneath this upper arm. Doesn't have to be dramatic. Find your breath here. Is this pose right for your body? Is it wise for your body right now? We want to engage the muscles of the neck without straining the muscles of the neck. Inhale, bring that arm up. Exhale, flow that arm down. And close the gates. The feet come back together. Your knees come back together. Your ankles are underneath your knees. Spine is nice and tall. And we're going to do cat-cow, seated cat-cow. So the whole spine is going to get involved, but we're going to see if we can do this with the legs together. If not, you can always widen your feet a little bit. Okay, and you're going to be sliding your hands up and down your thighs. Okay, so we're going to take an inhale, slide the palms of your hands towards your hips, rock forward on your sit bones, lift your heart, draw your shoulder blades together, and maybe the gaze slightly lifts. So your elbows are directed backwards. So when your elbows come back behind the body, it means your shoulder blades are moving closer to your spine. Okay. On an exhale, sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there. Slowly roll onto the back of your sit bones like you're tucking your tailbone and slide the hands towards your knees. Bring your heart in, bring the chin to the collarbones. Take a breath here. This is an active rounding so that we're still stabilizing the spine. Inhale, rock forward on the sit bones. Slide the hands towards the hips. Lift the heart, lift the gaze, elbows back. Maybe kind of tucking those shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale. Moving, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. So go to the range of motion that is wise for you. But we need to move with the breath. So the breath is the driver here. So it's nice, smooth, even inhales. Nice, smooth, even exhales. Feel yourself rocking on your seat. So we're flexing and extending the spine, massaging all those wonderful discs between your vertebrae. So you can feel your shoulder blades move closer together and then move apart as they come towards the front of the body. Good. Do one more inhale, one more exhale, and then find neutral. Elbows hanging underneath the shoulders. Heart is open. Lifting the gaze. Bringing the head slightly back. And finding your breath here. Breathe. Now, keeping the spine just as it is, shoulders just as they are, back to yogi bobblehead, what we started with. So you start with a small circle in front of your face with your nose. You start to let the circle get a little bigger. This is a gliding movement, or kind of letting go of the idea of resistance. Keep your breath flowing. Soften your jaw and your eyes. Just notice. A lot of different things can happen here. You can feel a sense of tension in spaces you weren't aware of before because of the work you've been doing. You could feel a little more mobility or spaciousness. There's no wrong thing to feel here. That circle as big as you feel comfortable without creating that extra tension. You don't want to invite that in. And then let's go in the opposite direction, drawing the circle with the nose. We draw the circle in front of our face with the nose because it is the safest way to hold the head balanced somewhat near the plumb line, and we're not dropping too far forward or too far back with the weight of your head. Start to spiral inward, making these circles a little smaller. Keep breathing. Smaller and smaller until your head is balancing on top of your spine. The gaze is lifted. Your spine is tall but not rigid. You can still breathe. Invite that nice soft breath in. Do a little practice called after the rain, after that beginning meditation, where you just recognize the mind again and the heart again. Notice what's here now. Again, no right or wrong answers. Notice the body right now. What do you need to care for after your practice today, other than drinking a lot of water? You're going to inhale your arms out and up, kind of gathering any wisdom, any benefits from your practice. Exhale, bring the hands together and bring the hands into your heart, finding that tall spine, that strong neck, supportive shoulders. Bringing to mind those things that you gather, the wisdom and the benefits of your practice. This is what you're going to take with you. Breathe into those wisdom and benefits that you've gained from your practice. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Drink a lot of water. Namaste.